Teaching is a complex, ever-changing kind of enterprise. Aristotle at one point said, knowledge is tact. And tact means doing what's appropriate in the situation you find yourself in. What I've learned in my 45 years as a professor is the situation is always changing. Our students are dynamic. They're mischievous at times, other times they're serious and somber. And so what I try to do is to be in touch with what my students are. I like to teach 8 o'clocks because I can be outside the room before the class starts. And that allows me to say hello to my students, but it also allows me to take their temperature, to get a sense of what kind of day they see ahead of them, what kind of night they've had, because a lot of them have been up working on their senior design project or something like that. And then I can do a better job for them. Teaching's not about filling a pail, it's about lighting a fire. And when I get up and talk to my students, I think of myself as a learner, not as somebody who is instructing, hammering, and putting stuff into them, but as a fellow traveler, that I'm inquisitive. I don't talk about things that I don't have an interest in. And I can be interested in very boring things, but it's my job to try to find that spark and take that spark and rub some sticks together and light the fire, and hopefully they go out and make a difference with it. In some sense, Aristotle is always in my mind. If teaching and knowledge is tact and doing what's appropriate, you do what's appropriate to the moment you're in. I was teaching a class several years ago in which I'd come to a very critical moment in the class. And Florida Power and Light decided for some reason to turn the power off campus-wide. And in this room with no windows, the lights went out. And I said to the class, don't move. Let's just finish this in the dark. And so I started to talk, and the lights went on because the kids took out their cell phones and turned them on and used them as lights. And it was a statement about what was an appropriate technology at the time. And it was also a statement about how swift, how quick my kids were. They found themselves in a situation. They wanted to note something down, and they used the technology of their device to illuminate what they were writing down. I thought it was very sweet. My students excite me. I have nights in which I have trouble going to sleep because I'm looking forward to what happens the next day, because I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen. My students make me better because they are always at the edge of their tomorrow. They're in a present, but they're looking forward to that future, and I get to go to that edge with them. My students, they're very precious to me. And I think that the key to it is you respect things that are precious to you. You take care of them. So when I teach, I'm trying to be helpful. I'm not trying to tell them I'm Moses at the top of Pisgah, but I'm Patterson who's walking the trail that they're walking. So I oftentimes end my emails to my students with my other philosopher, Roy Rogers, by saying happy trails. The trails may not always be happy, but your attitude on them can be. So that's, I suppose, somewhere between Aristotle and Roy Rogers, somewhere near trigger or bullet. That's where you find Patterson, is trying to move along.